The first committee of the whole of the year. We are talking about the allocation of lodging tax funding for 2024. And I have got Jesse Kotarski here. Go ahead, Jesse.
Thank you. The Lodging Tax Advisory Committee reviewed a total of 21 applications for 2024 events and programs, ensuring that the recommended allocations align with the state's regulations governing lodging tax funds. According to state regulations, lodging tax revenues can be utilized for tourism marketing, the marketing and operations of special events, supporting tourism-related facilities owned by municipalities, and assisting nonprofit organizations with tourism-related facilities. Applicants are required to estimate how the funds will boost travel to Renton, and recipients must submit reports detailing the actual impact of the funds. These regulations are in place to guarantee that lodging tax revenues contribute to economic development and cultural vibrancy in the community. They play a crucial role in replenishing the lodging tax funds, ensuring their availability and regeneration to sustain support for tourism promotion in the years to come. The advisors used a comprehensive scoring rubric to evaluate the potential impact and alignment of each project with the state's regulations. The rubric assessed each proposal based on its marketing strategy, innovation, and ability to attract overnight visitorship. The recommended allocation of $447,500 in lodging tax funding will support 20 diverse projects throughout the year, focusing on tourism marketing and special events that attract visitors. The selected projects cater to a variety of cultural celebrations and interests within our community. The 20 projects include a 3-day event series hosted by Empowering, the Professional Women of Color Network Retreat hosted by Black-Owned Business Excellence, which is the next slide, a series of community events hosted by the City of Renton Parks and Recreation Department, including the Farmers Market, Renton River Days, and the Holiday Lights in November through the end of the year. The Renton Community Marketing Campaign, representing the partnership between the City of Renton, Renton Chamber of Commerce, Renton Technical College, Renton School District, and Valley Medical. The 2024 Polynesian Festival, hosted by Emerald Dynasty Entertainment. Renton City Retro, hosted by High School GG. Rising Stars of Melody and Movement, a multi-day dance festival hosted by House of Kala. The 2024 King Khan Northwest Comic Con. The Randall Morris, there's the Professional Women of Color Networking Retreat. The Randall Morris.
Can you go back to that slide, please?
Oh, sure.
I just wanted to read the description and see the date. Thank you.
The Randall Morris Celebrity Golf Tournament. The operations of the Renton Visitor Center, supported by the Renton Chamber of Commerce. An Experience Renton project, supported by the Renton Downtown Partnership. A 2-part series hosted by Renton King County Justice Alliance, celebrating Black History Month and Juneteenth. The Return to Renton Car Show. A Tagore Festival hosted by Sahana and Voice of Planet, and the Bobe Business Symposium hosted by Washington Black-Owned Business Excellence. These recommendations, totaling $447,500, fall well within the projected fund balance in the 2023-2024 Lodging Tax Fund. These initiatives not only serve to promote tourism, but also contribute significantly to the cultural vibrancy and economic development of our city. I appreciate your attention in this matter, and I'm ready to address any questions or concerns you may have.
Any questions from the committee?
Mr. President?
Yes, Councilman Perez.
Thank you. Thank you, Jesse. This is great. I know that it's a lot of work that is put behind that you, the staff, and all the committee members are analyzing and checking very, very careful all this material, because besides, if you are gonna reinvest money in this event, it's a repeat event, you have first to make sure that the success and the impact of the previous year to keep funding. So I will assume that all the events are there funding again is because they presented the results and all of them were in good standard status with the city, right?
Correct. That's part of the scoring rubric that they do factor in the success of previous years. Sometimes you will notice that funding amounts change over the years, and the advisors talk through different scenarios of what may have caused either growth or decrease in attendance or results. And oftentimes their awards are connected to their good faith that the events will grow in the future. And the reports show that year over year.
May I have a follow-up question? So I'm very happy to see that some of the events that we have sponsored in the past are back because some of them are very good, and I'm very happy that they're very successful. But I'm very happy to see that we have new things that were funded these years, and that and the diversity of events that we have happening in the city. This year, I see the Renton River Days is sponsored this year, and I don't remember, we have a sponsor it last year as well, right? There is an event that goes hand to hand with the Renton River Days, which is the docu race, the sponsored by the Rotary Club. So I was toying with the idea of asking them to apply for a little tag just for marketing purposes, because the Rotary is a non-profit organization, so they raise money to give so the funds to promote or market certain events don't have it. However, because my husband is the president this year and next year, I decided that they should not apply just because I didn't want a conflict of interest in the process. But I will be very happy to if you can talk to some of them to see the possibilities in the future, because I think that in this area, or at least in King County, is the only city that we have an event of that magnitude, and it's a highlight definitely for the Renton community for generations and generations to come. So marketing in a bigger way, even though it's a very treasured secret, I think will highlight in a better way all the things that our city has to offer.
Any other questions from council members?
Mr. President,
Yes.
it's going to take me a while to get used to that.
I-
So is one of the criteria that is used, and maybe this is a silly question based on the fact that it's LTAC, but number of nights and beds?
That is a big factor. So part of the state regulations require that you show the draw for tourism, which the purpose being you need to reestablish the fund every year. So if you are not generating heads and beds, then the lodging tax fund itself will disappear. So there are, in the scoring rubric, more points assigned to the events that show that they can and illustrate through reporting that they are generating heads and beds.
Thank you.
Councilmember Rivera, do you have a question?
No, thank you so much.
Jesse, I'm happy with this. For my own information, I'd like to see the list of all the other candidates who applied, just so that we can have that, because historically we've gotten that information. So if you can send that to the council, that'd be great. All right, we have a committee. Do you have another question?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that Kim was on. I thought she was still making her way here. Councilmember Vaughn.
Yeah, thank you, Council President. I have a question, and thank you for the presentation. I have actually two questions. One is relating to Councilmember Holland's question. Have we gone back and actually asked nonprofits, organizations we've funded the previous year of their beds, their number of situation in terms of we were able to get folks using the hotels here?
Yep, it's a required question on the report that they have to turn in order to receive their grant funds.
And do we, so my follow-up is, do we see, for the ones that we have been granting, do we see any progression in numbers of beds in general? Just curious.
Yes, in fact, this past year, quite a few of them set up room blocks for their event specifically, which they had not done in previous years.
Thank you. And then my last question.
I will, unless someone here has a question, I'm going to allow it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I noticed evergreen tabletop, unless I misread. But I was wondering, because it's a 2-day event, it's a diversity in terms of different types of diversity that we haven't yet tapped into, different sports. And so I was wondering, what was the kind of rationale around that? And I don't know anybody from that. I'm just curious because I thought that was a great program.
The advisors in their deliberation felt that there was no direct connection to the promotion of tourism. The event was draw for locals. It's a board game event, and the advisors felt like the application was missing some key pieces that would have really connected it to tourism. So we did have a follow-up conversation with the applicant to explain in future years if they felt like they could grow the event to showcase more of a draw for the 50-mile plus audience, that they could potentially be a good candidate in future years.
Thank you.
Mr. President.
Yes, go ahead.
As well as I mentioned, that the Renton Rotary was not aware of the LTAC. And that when I mentioned that may they qualify or not, and it was like a big surprise for them that this can happen. And I mentioned the heads and beds, but for me it was a big thing because I do agree that if the hotels are not thriving, we're going to lose this money because we're going to lose hotels. So this is the point: is to support our hotels in Renton to be able to maintain this the LTAC, and it's on the best interest of the development of that city that our hotels are thriving. But I'm very curious, what the downtown partnership also do not apply? They didn't apply for?
Yes.
They did? Oh, okay.
There's,
Okay.
They have one in here.
They have-
The Experience Renton, the $25,000.
Oh yeah. You're absolutely right. I was looking at the name of the people, not the organization. I was looking at the contact information of your spreadsheet. So that's the reason why I missed it. Okay. I just want to make sure that we are any organization or anyone is not missing this opportunity. And I know that you guys advertise it big time, so people to make sure, but it's a lot of people that really don't know what's the LTAC and they don't know how, if they can or not use it, So I was just curious about it. Thank you very much.
Any other questions from council? All right, I've got a committee report here. The committee of the whole recommends concurrence on the staff recommendation to approve the allegations for, it's supposed to say 2023 or should this say 2024? Okay, it says 2023 in the thing. Lodging tax fund is recommended by the Lodging Tax Advisory Committee as follows: Empowering Global Women's Festival, 15,000; Empowering North American Fashion Week, 15,000; Empowering Festival of Joy with Lights and Dandia, 15,000; Black-owned Business Excellence Professional Women of Color Network Retreat, 10,000; City of Renton 2024 Farmers Market, 5,000; Renton River Days, 10,000; 2024 Winter Lights and Outdoor Decor, 10,000; Renton Community Marketing Campaign, 150,000; Emerald Dynasty Entertainment Polynesian Fest, 40,000; Renton City Retro, 25,000. You guys know the rest. Are there any issues with me signing this committee report? All right. If that is all, thank you so much, Jesse. We are adjourned. We'll be back at 7 o'clock.
Thank you.